BenQ doesn't just make their awesome gaming monitors, they also make some professional ones too, like this, the BL2711U, and that's something we're going to take a look at in this video, so stick around. Check out our website at TechteamGB.co.uk for more info on both this and many other products, and also up-to-date news on all things tech. Stick around for this awesome video. BenQ makes some pretty awesome monitors, and this one is no different. This is a 27-inch 4K 10-bit IPS, pretty awesome professional monitor with this kind of standard adjustments, you know, 120 millimeters of height adjust, 20 to -5 degrees of tilt, 60 to 60 degrees of sort of rotation or pivot, and 90 degrees of rotation if you want to put it in portrait mode. Either way, it's a pretty awesome stand and still quite nice, not quite as smooth as the PG27AQ, but it's still pretty nice nonetheless. Now this monitor definitely caters to the more professional variety, which is why it has, for example, a VESA on the back so you can mount it onto a monitor arm if that's easier for your desk setup. Also has a headphone out on the left hand side, as well as 2 USB 3 ports, somewhat of an upgrade from the standard sort of USB 2 hub. You also get another 2 USB 3 ports and the downlink port, a DisplayPort 1.2 port, an HDMI 2.0 as well as an HDMI 1.4a, a DVI-D port, and a headphone. I believe that's audio in if you're using the DVI, and as well as the AC ports in and the sort of power rocker switch. Also, as I said, there is an HDMI 2.0 only port on the back, which is actually really nice to see. And in terms of the aesthetic, besides the slight blue hint on the cable management hole, everything is pretty kind of professional looking and could sit very happily on a kind of graphic designer's desk, for example, with the kind of plastic brushed aluminium on the bottom, which does look quite nice. Now the bezels are actually pretty thick and the monitor is pretty well inset from, or the panel is pretty inset from the kind of bezels, but that's not really much of a deterrent if you are looking for a professional grade monitor. Considering that, as I said, this is 4K or UHD or 3840 by 2160. It's also incredibly accurate with colors. It comes pre-color calibrated from BenQ, and as I said, it's a 10-bit IPS panel. It is 60Hz, as you can probably expect, and does have some cool features like an eco sensor in the front, so if you do kind of move away, the monitor turns itself off. Also, you've got a lot of options for how the monitor looks in terms of your own sort of color calibration. So if you're doing CAD-CAM, or if you're doing animation, or if you just want it to be as perfectly color accurate as possible, that's all available. And in terms of viewing angles, as you can expect, this thing is amazing. This is probably the best looking monitor I've ever looked at, as it's kind of designed to be that way, but you can kind of tell the extra 2 bits there is there, and it's very nice, and I'm very happy to kind of talk about it. Now, the kind of gaming performance, as you can expect, it's 4K. It's not really designed for gaming, but I thought I'd show off Unigine Heaven anyway. You may struggle even with something like a 980 Ti, and you will still have the usual problem if you're running Windows, which is that stuff still doesn't scale. Obviously, if you're using this for Mac, which generally in kind of the designer world seems to be quite common, then that may not be an issue, as Macs seem to handle scaling quite well, but just to point out, you may have a bit of an issue with lots and lots of white space if you do pick this and go for a kind of Windows setup. Something to note, however, is that the speakers built into the monitor, while they're not designer quality by any standard, they are actually pretty decent, and while the audio that I'm just about to play was recorded on the camera itself, it's not that bad. DVI-D, 2 HDMI ports, both for, I believe, console use mainly, and then also the line in, headphone out, and the AC kettle lead in. So that's pretty much it in terms of I/O, except for the menu buttons on the front. Now, I happen to have the PG27AQ and this one at the same time, so I thought I'd kind of show it off. But personally, if I was going to go for a gaming monitor, which I kind of expect you guys to go for, then go for the PG27AQ. But if you're a designer, check out this one. Although if I had to pick one to do a bit of both, it'd still be the PG27AQ. So the monitor is great, it's definitely fit for purpose, and you can definitely see why it's a really nice kind of usage for this kind of monitor. Obviously 10-bit 4K. It's still 60 Hz, but again, that's, you know, if you're doing graphic designing and animation at 24 FPS, you're not going to need to worry about that at all. But yeah, it's basically just a really nice monitor, especially if you are going for the more graphic design kind of heavy side of things. With that kind of said, the pros and cons of it are that it's a fantastic monitor. While it's not the best necessarily looking, especially when you can compare it to the PG27AQ, it's certainly not ugly by any stance, but you know, it's not the prettiest in the world. It's also quite pricey, but then again, it is comparing to other professional monitors in the area, so that's kind of to be expected. And also there's things like, there's a lot of nice features about it besides just the 10-bit color, which is things like the sleep set, or the set of eco sensor on the front, that when you move away from the monitor, it will turn itself off after 5 or so minutes or something like that, which is actually really nice and quite cool to see. Also, the inputs are very diverse, and that's really nice. Also, it's really nice to see HDMI 2.0 on here, and that's cool. Obviously, USB 3 hub's nice as well. So that's just kind of the cool things about it. But yeah, I guess that's kind of the pros and cons. The scoring is going to be a 4 for 5 money, because while it is a fantastic monitor and definitely sits well in the price range, it is still quite pricey. Also, the performance has to be a 5, because it's a fantastic, I would say it's probably the best quality or best looking panel I've seen when reviewing monitors, so that's that. Functionality has to be a 5 as well, because of obviously the 10-bit color panel, as well as the general just cool features about it, including obviously the eco sensor in the front, and the menu system, which has so many great options for different color temperatures and generally the color scape of the screen, so that's cool. Styling, I think it's going to be a 4, but TechteamGB score has to be a 5, and it's going to get the gold award because it is an awesome monitor, and I'm actually pretty impressed. Obviously the price is quite high, but what you get for it, and especially comparing it to other monitors in the category, it's pretty awesome. So I think that pretty much rounds it off. I hope you enjoyed the video. Feel free to subscribe if you did, and hit the like button. If you didn't, feel free to dislike, but let me know why in the comments down below so that I can improve for next time. And on that, check us out on Facebook and Twitter. We've got a couple of giveaways going on right now, so before those close, check them out as soon as you can. And yeah, I think that's it. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.